This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Starts right now. Backlash just off the air about an hour or so ago, and man, that was a hell of a pay-per-view, boy, or PLE, whatever you want to call it. It is another Saturday edition of Ramblers Unleashed, and my name is Dizzy, and let me go introduce the guys because we have a lot to talk about this evening. First and foremost, let me get my notes up here because I always miss my notes. Always miss my notes. All right, first up, my best friend, the person who would never even think about eating Culver's without any one of us, especially me. And he's the only guy that I know who pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us. The trader, well, the last trader right down there can address him as Mr. Magus, but Baron, you and I can address him as the mighty Maximus Magus. Golfers clap, sir. How are you? Did you enjoy Backlash?
I love Backlash. I would like to say that we have accepted J-Bone's apology for his traitorous actions. However, he turned around Tuesday night and disappointed me. I'm so sad at that disappointment. That feels like betrayal.
How did he disappoint you? Refresh us.
He went on AEW and bought the one action figure he shouldn't have. She who shall not be named.
Yeah, that's what you did, J-Bone. That's what you did, buddy. You have to return that shit when it comes in, man. Have to return that shit. And you're muted. If you're trying to talk, you're muted.
J-Bone, I want you to read this out loud. I want you to read this out loud, J-Bone. Look at my screen.
Rise above hate.
Let's go ahead and introduce you because this is the guy that was actually there tonight in St. Louis at Enterprise Center, and he is the guy that is higher than planes, hates AEW more than anyone that I know, and who used to hand feed Culver's to J-Bone on a picnic without his two other podcast mates. He is the mighty one. He is the high one, and your catchphrase, sir, please.
999.
There you go. He is the Baron. How you doing, buddy? First, we got to dive in. We're going to dive in to how Backlash was live, and we got some pictures that we're going to share on the stream too. But how was the before we get into it too far? How was the crowd?
Oh, it was great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the Enterprise Center. You've been there. Scottrade, whatever we're calling it. I mean, it is Enterprise Center, so you know the venue. It's a great venue.
Yeah.
And looking around where I was at, I didn't see empty seat. I don't know where they pointed. I mean, I'm sure there was, but don't get me wrong. But I mean, dude, it was great, man. You know the St. Louis fan base. They're diehard, whether it's a Battlehawks game or a fucking Cardinals game, whatever it is. We're pretty passionate about St. Louis events. So, dude, it was great, man. I want to make sure I go to every single event that's in St. Louis. I don't, the price tag is always a little steep. Don't get me wrong, but when you love something, you're passionate about it, might as well go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, we were down floor. We were down floor D, seats 1 and 2, literally the best seats you could possibly think of because the fucking bathroom ramp was right there in my section. It was great. I will say my one complaint was them when you bring a beer down with the can, they make you pour it out into a cup.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but this was bullshit because the amount of people trying to come down these stairs to come to their section, it bottlenecked, right? But man, no, it was great, dude. Absolutely loved it. We seen everything. Felt that the crowd was insane.
Yeah. Well, we got some pictures to share coming up here in just a minute. Finally, let's introduce the producer of the show, the trader that we've kind of forgiven, but I don't know what his deal is with the one that shall not be named. Anyway, He, without his wonderful missus, would not be here tonight. We love you, Mrs. J-Bone. Thank you for gifting us his time. And by the way, just for him buying that action figure, you still need to use that chair. Take care of that for us, please. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the mighty J-Bone. Golfers clap. And how are you, buddy? Did you enjoy Backlash?
I did. I struggled staying awake towards the end. I think I dozed off during the main event, even though I was trying like hell not to. Let's just say that we had some Papa Murphy's for dinner, and I indulged in a very large taco grande pizza or whatever the hell they call it.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've had Papa Murphy's. Like honestly,
yeah, and it turned. So I brought it home and I threw it in the oven, like right at the start of the pay-per-view at 6:00 here. Yeah. Pulled it out 15 minutes later. Perfect, absolutely perfect. So thank you, Papa Murphy's, for fueling my old fart nap during the main event.
I don't think we have a Papa Murphy's anywhere in the St. Louis area, right? Is that like
so? No,
obsolete?
The last Papa Murphy's that I was around was in Jacksonville, Illinois, and that is it. And there's no Papa Murphy's around me anywhere at all. But
okay. It's a take for those of you that. For those of you that don't know, it's a take and bake place.
It is.
It's you buy it. They make it, you take it home, you bake it, and some people don't enjoy that. But if you get a good store near you that makes a good pie, and you don't mind the extra half hour of running home, preheating, throwing it in, and then enjoying it, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, because it's kind of doughy when you throw it in the oven, but dude, it is so worth it. Max, do you have a Papa Murphy's near you?
There's about 5 minutes from my house. I could drive down there right now. Actually, it's 9:15. They're probably closed by now. So I guess I won't be driving down tonight, will I?
I found out we got one Mid Rivers Mall.
Oh, that's not far from you, dude, at all. Mm-mm. That's like 20 to like not even 15 minutes or so. Not even. But yeah. Oh, by the way, Max, you have to do your intro.
Yes, I was about to say I've got 3 intros to do tonight, and you know what? I'm okay with this. I have. Oh yeah, the shirt. I wanted him to show off the shirt before I did this.
Show off that shirt. Show it off.
All right,
badass shirt, man. John Cena with the arch.
Before I do the really important one and the one that I have been commissioned to do because of the rules of the tournament, which I didn't even make up. First, I want to introduce the 5th member of Ramblers Unleashed. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you viewing, without you, we'd be 4 guys just sitting here. We'd be 3 guys sitting here talking and Grandpa going, huh? Every couple of seconds. So thank you for being the 5th member of the Ramblers Unleashed.
Or snoozing,
right? Up next, I've got to get the commissioned one out of the way. My name is Max Mages, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed Ramblers Unleashed WrestleMania 41 predictions champion, Mir.
I love it. I love it. Good job, Max.
Thank you. All right. And finally, and last but not least, let's make that clear, because without him, we would be nameless, faceless guys on some other show, no identity of our own. Here we are Ramblers because of this man, the man that puts the show notes together, the man with the golden voice, ladies and gentlemen, my best friend, Dizzy.
Thank you. Very nice of you, Max. And you know what? We wouldn't be here without Bubba either. And I know that most of our viewers don't know who he is, but he is a very good friend of the show, one of my best friends growing up, and
always will be.
Always will be. He always has a spot here, even if he doesn't want to come on and talk with us. He's always got a spot here on
Not not my liver spot, but a
No.
spot.
But a spot. Right. Yeah.
And for those of you that have been tuned in for a while, his spot was the forgetting to mute his mic before going to the bathroom.
Yes. Yeah. He did that quite frequently. Let's share some of these photos that the Baron was able to send us over on Facebook chat, our show Facebook chat, because these are some spectacular photos, man. You had some really killer seats too. So talk to me about this one. This is where you were seating, or was
this is when we were walking in from the stairs, after grabbing my probably 5th or 6th beer. Probably spent well over $60-$80 on that, but I digress. But yeah, walking down, we were much further down. We were actually on the floor level.
Okay, yeah, let's get into the next photo that you sent. This is Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. This match, that's a really, really good photo too, by the way.
Yeah, and fair warning, everyone. These photos, I was intoxicated as well as high, so bear with me. But the video I sent over, I don't know if you guys had that one. That one was really good.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get that video pulled up here. This is another one for Becky Lynch and Lyra. And
look at how packed that place is. Holy!
Oh, it was filled to the brim, man.
Yeah,
it was packed.
I believe it when they said it was sold out. It was over 17,000 people.
Yeah,
is what Michael Cole officially said. And yeah, you're right, man. You were just right behind commentary. That is awesome. And of course, that is Penta. That's a good shot of Penta too.
I had to go buy a t-shirt because he had the most badass entrance for me outside of Orton. But yeah, love this fucking guy. So
yeah,
props to him.
I love how Penta is such a freaking star.
Yeah,
and he's been in the company for what, a month, 2 months?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude,
he's already over.
Yeah, he is over like a rover, and it's so well deserved, and you can tell he's having so much fun.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, before we get started, I want to say as an old Lucha Underground fan, the amount of talent coming into the show now recently between Phoenix, Penta, and now tonight, ladies and gentlemen, a.k.a. Jeff Cobb, formerly known as the Monster, Matanza Cueto. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go find yourself some Lucha Underground clips when he was in the dingy, bloody jumpsuit with the mask on. Oh my God. I am so hyped for Jeff Cobb to be a part of this brand.
That was a hell of an introduction for him, and
I love LA Knight, but he killed LA Knight, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Shoot.
I would like to point out that J Bone said one of the most accurate things he has ever said on this show. While he was talking about that, he said, "I am an old Lucha Underground fan." Yes, you are. And Styles, look at what my screen says.
Oh my!
I was very impressed with his appearance tonight. I actually watched a video of him facing off against Keith Lee. Keith Lee, who's 350 pounds, and he drop kicked Keith Lee.
Oh my! So let's show this video. This is Randy Orton as he's making his entrance.
Oh, the pose.
Oh, yeah. Look at that pose, man.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
That was
what is that? Beer number 10? Damn, Baron.
Oh, brother, I was deep in
buddy.
The stairs were pretty close from where I was sitting. So I think this is the better shot here. But
this is money right here.
Oh.
Money. Oh, look at this. Yeah.
Oh, that's the shot that the camera had on TV.
Yep.
It's almost identical.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah. That is really cool, man. Really cool.
All right.
Yeah, that's great.
Pull us down before we get...
Hey, that's mine. They ain't nobody pulling nothing down. That's my content, buddy. No, that's dude, it was great, man. That pop too with him coming out.
I was gonna ask you. The pop must have been huge.
It was huge. It was big. So I feel like it's so weird watching it, and I was so while we were there, I'm like, it's so weird going to events and not watching on TV because you don't hear the commentary, you don't hear that kind of stuff, right? So it's just deaf ears and the crowd and the match, and I love that, but it felt weird not hearing like Michael Cole or anything. But I felt like the crowd was good the entire night.
They seemed like a very, very live crowd, honestly, throughout the entire PLE. So let's get into the matches. And we started off with the Fatal 4-Way, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest for the U.S. Championship. This was a hell of a match to kick off the PLE, Max. What did you think? What were your thoughts on it, man?
I suspected going into this that Priest and McIntyre would probably take each other out. Mm-hmm. And they did exactly that. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, we basically got ourselves a little bit of a rematch from WrestleMania. This match was phenomenal. When Solo first came out, I wasn't really sure what he was going to do, and then he and Jeff Cobb made sure Jacob Fatu won the match. I thought it was a really solid match. I thought it was great.
Baron, were you able to see the South of Heaven put on from Damian Priest to Drew McIntyre?
Boys, you've seen my messages going into this event. We thought this event started at 7 p.m. just like any other wrestling event that I think ever happens in wrestling. It's usually 7 p.m. my time.
Yeah, that's why I told you guys this morning. I'm like, heads up. Yeah, that's why I told you.
Well, yeah, like so going into this, guys, I literally 1 hour before the event happened, I bought the tickets and went. I was not planning on going, and I was just like,
so this was
we're not doing. It wasn't spur. I thought about it all day, but I just was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to go, right? So about an hour before the technical bell time, which then the girl said, no, it starts at 7. I was like, okay, yeah, but why did I listen there? Because they don't watch wrestling. So about we made it to the venue actually a really good time. It was about 6:10 when we got there. Had to walk from the parking garage to that. We did miss the first match though. We caught the tail end of it actually.
Oh man. Well, J-Bone, your thoughts on the match between the Fatal 4-Way?
Oh, it was good. I knew this was going to be, just like Fatu's T-shirt says, all gas, no brakes, and you've got the classic rivalry of McIntyre and Priest, which I'm hoping that like this particular match puts that rivalry to rest now. As much as I like the feud. Because they've been just, it's how long they've been going at it, like a slow burn of storytelling. They've been facing off here, facing off there.
Sure.
I think it's time to wrap that one up and, throw more focus on, Fatu. And well, now we got a whole new chapter in the bloodline because now Jeff Cobb's in there too. And, I can only imagine like what's going to happen on Raw with Solo and Jeff and Fatu, or is it on? Are they on
SmackDown?
Is it Raw? Is this SmackDown?
They're on
Sorry,
SmackDown.
my bad.
They're on the blue brand.
Well, as popular as Fatu is getting, don't be surprised if he starts, double branding.
That could be a possibility.
Listen, I do have a question. Baron, did she at least enjoy the show?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, not their cup of tea, right? Not anything that they would sit there and watch. But I think it's hard to, like, go to one of these events and not enjoy it. It's impossible. The energy is there. we were sitting right next to a kid probably of the age of like 8 years old, and it reminded me of me as a child going to these events. Like this kid fucking was loving it, right? Like every single match chanting. And it's great to see because, like, I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of younger people watching wrestling, but I would assume probably less than as we were growing up, right? So it's cool to see that, and yeah, absolutely, she enjoyed herself.
That's good.
Good.
Let's go. Well, nearing the end of this match, the Fatal 4-Way, it looked like LA Knight was going to seize the moment and pull off a win. He nailed a couple elbows onto Fatu, but it only resulted in a near fall. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, ended up on the outside of the ring fighting on top of a production crate. Then Priest nailed a South of Heaven off the crate through a table that took both of them out, and it appears that Drew is under concussion protocol as he was injured. A lot of injuries tonight during the PLE. And the fans in St. Louis chanted, "Holy shit," as the match continued. But Solo Sikoa showed up to save Fatu as he pulled him off of a table while LA Knight prepared to leap on him. Suddenly, Jeff Cobb, out of nowhere, jumps over the barricade, blindsides LA Knight, and after that, Jacob Fatu didn't look happy about Cobb helping him, but he was still able to win the match after a moonsault. Jeff Cobb took out LA Knight and made his presence known. It took Cobb years to make his way to the company, but finally he found his home with Solo Sikoa. So we'll have to see what's next for this storyline, as J-Bone was saying, and it certainly looks like the Bloodline saga is going to continue on with a new face. So let's go ahead and rate this match. And Baron, I know you weren't there, so it's kind of hard for you to actually rate it. But Max, what do you give it out of 10 stars?
I'm going to give this one a 9.
Okay, right on.
Solid match.
Yeah. J-Bone, out of 10 stars, what would you give it?
I'm going to give it like a 8.5.
Yeah, I would say 8.5 to 9 would be perfect for me because this is that was a hell of a way to kick off the PLE.
Oh, you gotta start out, and nothing against the rest of the card, even as short as it was, but you gotta crowd this hype.
Yeah,
and they all want to see, they came to see John Cena and Randy Orton.
Sure.
But the next most hyped thing on the bill, I'd say, was this. So if you start out with this, you did well. So then it becomes okay, now follow this, guys. And it makes everybody step up their shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The next match, though, was actually, it was pretty decent. That would be Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. J-Bone, your thoughts on this match, man? Because I thought it was pretty decent, honestly.
Oh, this was really good. This I was saying this to my wife as this started. I said, you know what? I said, this has got to be Lyra Valkyria's biggest match of her career so far. I mean, she may not be women's world champion, but she's facing a multi-time world champion, women's world champion in Becky Lynch. She, it's you can call Becky what you want. Some people still call her the man, which I think is I always thought that was ridiculous, but that's just me. Like I get why people called her that because of that hurt because she's tough or whatever. That's fine. But when you're when you're portraying yourself as a scared little coward in the middle of the ring after you get a 2 count, I'm sorry, you're not the man.
She's the heel. That's what the heels do. I mean,
yeah. I'm just saying, it's like, stop calling her the man. She's not the man. But yeah, she's playing a good heel. Good match. I'm becoming a bigger fan by the week of Lyra, and she's quickly establishing herself as a mainstay on the main roster. Like when she first came in, it was like she came in like really quick into NXT, and boom, stuff really started happening for her. And then all of a sudden, felt like she's on the main roster. and it's like, oh, stuff's really happening for her. But she's, take time to really watch her stuff, and
Yeah.
Mayor here in the chat, J-Bone, people call her Becky Hogan. Oh,
Oh my God.
yikes!
Baron,
Mir, no, Mir, please no.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan. I don't think Becky's, no.
So, Baron, the 2 questions for you. First, your thoughts on the match, and secondly, how was the crowd during this match? Were they hyped?
Hyped. I had the biggest Becky Lynch fan sitting behind me. This girl was screaming the entire match, "Go, Becky, go!" Not bullshitting you either. She did. We made a comment of that after we were driving back home, and great match, man. It was good. Lyra she's going to be a star, and I think Becky did her justice of putting her over in this match, because we all have our opinions on Becky, but she is very, very, very good.
Oh, absolutely.
So it was great. It was a great match, man. I enjoyed it. The crowd was into it. They had a couple "this is awesome" chants during that match, so it was cool. It was a good match.
I just wanted to add one thing that just was floating through my head. Kind of going back to WrestleMania and how Tiffany Stratton was facing Charlotte, kind of like in the same, how he looked at the match about the same way as this, facing a multi-time world's women champion. And I'm like, well, shoot, if Tiffy Time can beat Charlotte, then Lyra can beat Becky, is kind of how I looked at it. I mean, nothing's given, but
they're doing their due diligence as veteran wrestlers, right? They're putting over the younger talent, and that's what they need to be doing. Charlotte as well as Becky, and I think she did that in this match. And then, of course, had that heel beatdown, right? So.
Yeah, and that's what WWE Max is doing. They're moving the NXT talent, the younger talent, over to this brand because they know that the talent that is there now, the John Cenas, the Becky Lynches, they're not going to be around for a long time, and it's time to put over the new guys and let them get their shine on and their spotlight. But the way Becky handled this match and how she didn't give the win to Lyra. I mean, she kind of did in a way, but for her to be able to retain the title for what Becky did for Lyra, pretty cool, honestly.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to touch on their match here in just a second. You just mentioned NXT talent coming up and taking over for the future. It hasn't always been this entertaining. The Ascension, those two were actually really talented in the ring, but they got misbooked when they got brought to the main roster. And so that's why we didn't really see as much of them as we should have. They had amazing matches on NXT, and they come to the main roster, and Vince just didn't want to do anything with them. That's the way it was. But Lyra, they're actually utilizing her in a great way, in my opinion. I think she's very talented. I would enjoy watching her and Liv have a feud together on the main roster. Baron and I can sit here and talk about how great that feud goes. I think Lyra is destined for big things in the WWE. I think she's amazing. I think Becky did a really good job of making her look like $1 million tonight. And the only thing I had a problem with this match was it wasn't the actual outcome of the match. I went into this fairly positive that Lyra was going to retain her belt. She was going to get the win. I didn't like how it went down. I don't know if you guys watched that ending there, but Becky's got her pin. She reverses it into a pin of her own, and it just looked like a sloppy transition to me. Other than that, this match was great.
Well, let's go into the nearing the end of the match. Lyra was able to get out of the disarm her, and then she kicked out the manhandle slam twice. Fans applauded this match as it continued. They were chanting, of course, what Baron just said, "This is awesome," as Becky tried to figure out what her next move would be. And she was physically upset, too. So Becky went ringside. She went to go get a chair. She used this as a distraction to expose the top turnbuckle, but Lyra blocked an Irish whip into the corner. Lyra then nailed her moonsaults for a near fall. Becky Lynch nailed another manhandle slam, but Lyra kicked out, and then Lyra hit a Nightwing, but Becky kicked out of that. They traded roll-up pins. Lyra was able to get a 3 count after the match, though. Becky Lynch beat Lyra down and applied to disarm her, but she wouldn't let it go. Quite the scene as more officials slid into the ring to help the women's IC champ, but they said Lyra may have a broken nose as well, and finally Lynch was left the ring and finally let go. But this was a heck of a match, man. So out of 10 stars, Baron, what would you give it?
Boys, I'm pretty particular on my ratings, but tonight every match I watch is getting the highest of high ratings. 10 out of 10.
There you go. Max, what would you give it out of 10 stars?
I'm going to give this one 9.5. This was a great match, but I'm not going to give it a 10 after what happened with that ending.
Yeah. J-Bone, you just did a 10 in front of the camera, so I would assume your rating is that.
Oh no, I was copying my best friend. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I'll give it.
Hold on. Did you just yeet?
Who, me?
Yeah, I thought
you ain't yeet. I ain't yeet. No.
He said, I'm just copying my best friend, and I swear to God, you said yeet.
And I was like, oh.
Yeet.
Yeet. Rise above the hay.
Rise above the hay. That's what we're doing.
I will have to make a comment real quick. There were so many fucking yeet t-shirts and finger foams there at that event. I was mind blown.
I bet. J-Bone, so out of 10 stars, J-Bone, you'd give it what?
I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay. That's fair. I bet there were like a shit ton of yeet t-shirts.
Like it was it was good. Don't get me wrong, the match was good. It's just it's hard to follow that train wreck from the start of the show. You know?
Yeah.
And I mean a train wreck, and usually the people are like, oh, that's horrible. No, I mean that in a good way. It's like, all gas, no brakes. The train went off the tracks. These guys were all over the place. Everyone got their ass kicked. The first match was incredible. So it's hard to follow that up. So
yeah, right.
So I did send a picture over in response to what Mir said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does this guy look like a pro wrestler to you?
Let's hang on just one second. Let me pull this up here. And let me get this up here real quick. And this would be this picture you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my God. That looks like that's like me with a wig on.
That's LJ Cleary. That is Lyra's fiance. And he is apparently also a pro wrestler. He is also from Ireland.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. He does not look like a pro wrestler to me at all.
And listen, LJ, we mean no offense. We're just... We have an opinion about looks, and yours is not a wrestler look, not even what you had going at ringside. Now, if this was the picture, that would be different.
Let me get that. Hang on just one second. Let me get that pulled up here, too. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Boom. And we'll get this over here. And we will open that up, share that. So if you look like this guy,
is that's not the same guy?
That's the same guy.
I was going to say, yeah, that's the same guy.
No freaking way. Oh my God.
Looks like okay. There he looks like a young Scott Hall with the hairy chest.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that is night and day.
Wow. It's all in the lighting, guys. It's all in the lighting.
Shout out to LJ for getting a WWE PLE moment tonight.
No kidding. Yeah, after getting into an argument with Becky Lynch on the side of the ring, like that is insane. That is crazy.
Well, because he just looks like your average Joe, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that a lot of times wrestlers date wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to the next match, and that would be Dominik Mysterio versus Penta. Boy, this was a hell of a match, and it was kind of controversial too. Baron, you were there for that one. Talk to me about it, man.
Great, man. Loved it from the entrance all the way to the finish. It was great. Penta brings that fucking aura like none other, man. Like he truly does. You could kind of feel the crowd shift a little bit live. Once I think he was the only entrance with pyro, right?
I think so. I think you're right.
I missed the first match, so I can't speak on that one. But I don't think there was any other pyro throughout the entire night.
No,
you're talking about Penta? Yeah, Penta. They're souping up Penta's stuff like
Big time.
every week. They're adding more sparklers. You got the spinny thing in the background. They added week 2. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. It's amazing.
Yeah. They're pushing the guy to the limit for sure. I really want to for Max to let me know who I picked during this match because I do not fucking remember. I'm sure I picked Penta out of just wanting to pick Penta. But nonetheless, dude, like the live crowd, I'm not sure how it was portrayed on TV, but they were fucking chanting Dirty Dom nonstop that entire match. Yeah, dude, it was just surrounding me. Of course, Penta got some chance too, but it was just nonstop Dirty Dom. Like he is over.
Yeah, I gotta say, Max, we had some good picks, man.
This was the only match on the card where we split. J-Bone and I picked Dirty Dom to win, and you two picked Penta to win, but Dom to retain. Thus saying Penta would win by disqualification. And I went a perfect 5-0 for SummerSlam. Y'all remember picked Max Magus.
Yeah, which I was going to get into that. We are going to do our predictions for SummerSlam, but we want you to pick which Rambler you're going to go with. Who you rolling with? You rolling with Baron? You rolling with me, Max, or the old man down there for SummerSlam?
Just keep in mind, out of the 4 of us who has had the most correct picks between 2 nights of WrestleMania and 1 night of Backlash, that's me.
But I'm the cool one. Don't forget that. All right, I'm the cool guy.
I'm the oldest, most experienced one. And so, when
Grandpa,
when you got that much experience, decades of experience, it's you know what they say. You know what they say.
And Baron, you're just a nice one because you're high.
Baron's just pleasant.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm just an overall guy that just believes in rising above hate.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for a small donation of weed, you too can get Baron to watch ECW.
I would actually give you weed for me not to watch ECW. Sorry. I will give you all the weed you need for me to skip out on that one. I already went through that fucking science experiment.
I love this too. Amir.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. You know what? I forgot for a second that he came in.
I said this in our chat. I said, from now on, I'm just gonna, when it comes to luchador matches, I'm just gonna pick El Grande Americano. I'm just gonna do it. But nearing the end of this match, man, it continued outside of the ring. Penta eating an oblivion. Little nod to Liv Morgan. But it only got a near fall. This was an homage, of course, to Dom's girlfriend, or Baron's girlfriend, honestly. Yeah, as she's out filming.
Girlfriend. Whatever, dude. I'm leaving this now.
She's out filming a movie. Penta nailed a Mexican destroyer on the ring apron before Carlito made his way out to the ringside. Finn Balor, JD McDonough jumped over the barricade as Carlito distracted them. And then Finn got caught with a chair. The referee ejected all of them from ringside. Penta nailed a dive over the referee, which was cool, onto Dirty Dom. Finn Balor distracted the ref as El Grande Americano jumped on the other side and pushed Penta off the top rope. Dominik was able to win the match and retain the IC title, which honestly, none of us saw that coming. None of us saw that El Grande Americano would get involved in that match. So, J-Bone, out of 10 stars, man, what would you give it?
Oh, let's see. It was frustrating to see, Captain Lucha Americana, whatever. There's nothing grande about him.
We can just point the elephant in the room and call him Chad Gable.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
How do you? Nobody knows that. It's not Chad Gable. What the fuck are you trying to say here, Dizzy?
And they're doing it on commentary too. It's so funny. Michael Cole's like,
I don't know where you're getting that. I sent a picture.
Wade Barrett is like, what are you talking about, Michael Cole?
It's not Chad Michael Cole.
It looks nothing like Chad Gable, Michael Cole. I'll give this a 9. This is very entertaining. It's great to see, as much as we love to boo him, it's great to see Dominik Mysterio really coming up. He's got his first title. And as much as, I want Penta to win, look, Penta just showed up. He's got a long time. He's going to have a long career in WWE. He's going to win titles with his brother, solo, everything. So I ain't worried about that. But this was great. Hey, score one for Judgment Day. They've been kind of floundering, and they finally got a big win under their belts, and they were all kind of on the same page. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Baron, are you happy with the Dirty Dom win?
Been better if Liv was there. No, it was 10 out of 10, dude. I'm telling you, I'm picking 10 out of 10 on every match tonight because I was there. But we have to give more props to Dom than what we do, because I don't think people quite understand how over this fucking guy is, and he is fantastic. I'm not saying he's the greatest wrestler of all time, but his aura and what he does in the ring, he plays that heel to perfection. He's great. Penta's great. I want to see Penta with the title sooner than later before it starts to dwindle down, because I sense this. If we continue with this Dom and Penta's feud, I feel like he's going to lose a little bit of credibility. So I'm not sure what they're going to cook up with Chad Gable. I mean, not Chad Gable, never mind. You know who I'm talking.
Oh, now you're calling. Oh, look at you, man.
El Grande.
Oh, yeah, Chad Gable.
Hello. I see them two facing off in Los Angeles to play. So I don't know. I want to see Penta with the title because I really do like Penta, and I think he's a character that actually needs the title. A title. It doesn't matter what it is. I feel like he's really good. So.
Yeah. I agree with that. I definitely think that Penta's on his way to get a title. Max, your thoughts on that?
I loved this match. I thought it was a great match. Penta will be getting a title sometime in the near future. Dom has really done a damn good job of trying to regain his heel status after he got cheered at WrestleMania by the fans.
Yeah.
But I want to point out two things that happened tonight. Both of them Finn Balor related. When they first got down to the ringside, Finn was about to hit Penta, and he was like, wait a minute, I got to get the chair. He took his time going over to the timekeeper's booth, grabbed the chair, came back, they got busted. They got tossed out. I don't think he was trying to help Dom there. I think he wanted Dom to think he was helping him, but I think this is setting up for here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to kick off the feud between Finn and Dom. The other thing is when they were all four going up the ramp together, Finn is standing right behind Dom, and he was glaring at him.
Oh, I didn't see that. I missed that.
Yeah. So I will say this: the one thing I didn't like was I didn't really care for the outcome. Whoever this masked man is that is parading around as El Grande Americano should. You can't prove that it's Chad Gable. There's no evidence that supports that.
Chad Gable's not that tan.
He should never have gotten involved in this match. And if I had been booking it, I wouldn't have had him involved in this match. They had a great match, and Dom had the win without the Gable.
He did it too.
Grande.
You did.
Yeah, you guys are getting in my head now. So I'm sitting here.
You know the truth that it's Chad freaking Gable, best friend.
But you can't prove that. You guys can suspect it all you want, but until you can prove it, you got nothing. You got a luchador.
Chad Gable does that too, buddy. I'm telling you, it's Chad Gable.
What did they call?
So he emulates Chad Gable.
What did they call Chad a couple years ago?
Shorty G.
Sure. Okay, Shorty G. So now we gotta mix that with El Taco Grande or whatever. We gotta come up with something to cover all the.
He's a large cup of coffee, not a large taco. We'll see large taco at another time. But I didn't feel that was necessary. One of my biggest complaints about Jinder Mahal as champ was that they booked it to where he only won when his minions got involved while he was champion. He needed to be winning either in spite of that or on his own 2 feet. And you didn't need Grande Americano getting involved tonight. Dom had the match finished despite the antics of the rest of Judgment Day. I would have just let this match end without that involvement on El Grande Americano's side and given Dom that strength as champion for doing it as best he could despite interference from his own people.
I still say it's Chad Gable, buddy. I still say it's Chad Gable.
You're gonna be easier to convince me it's JD McDonough than Chad Gable at this point.
Oh my God!
I'm pretty convinced it's Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
No, because he's not that tan either.
Yeah, he's pretty neon white.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting match, man. Next up, we go to Gunther versus Pat McAfee. This, honestly, I thought this was just going to be a slobber knocker,
a squish,
and a squash match. But it really wasn't. It didn't turn out to be that way. Now, Baron, my question for you, since you were there, how was the fans for this one?
Great, man. It was good. Pat got a pop. This was also during.
See, I didn't hear that.
My beer run.
I didn't hear Pat McAfee getting a pop on TV when he was coming out. I heard it when he got into when he was on the side of the ring apron, but I didn't hear it coming when he was coming out.
Yeah, he definitely did. It wasn't anything like a Penta or Dom pop or main event type pop, but it was a pop for sure. And dude, it was a good fucking match, man. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. And again, you got to give props to Pat McAfee. He's good. I'm not saying he's a Logan Paul by any means, folks, but for what he does in the ring, really good. I will talk a little bit later about this match at the ending because I'm not sure if they showed it on TV or not. But yeah, go ahead.
No, talk about the ending of the match, man.
Well, I don't know if it was on TV or not, but
okay,
he was in the ring for a good period of time after the fact. And I don't know if they showed that on TV or not. And
yeah, they did.
Okay, they I mean, the crowd gave him a round of applause and
yeah,
and it was like almost like a send off type of thing, right?
It was Pat. It almost looked like he was gonna like shake his hand out of respect, but he kind of did like this, like as in like, hey, yeah, take a bow,
Michael Cole got the biggest pop of that match, by the way. As soon as he threw the headset down and went towards the ringside there, the crowd, people around me got up on their feet, and yeah, Michael Cole, he got a good pop for sure.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Michael Cole?
This was definitely a good match. There's something that I want to talk about after we talk about Gunther versus Pat McAfee that Bell's Boy brought up. And Max, I think you're going to be really happy about this. But first, nearing the end of the match, Gunther locked on a Boston Crab on a Pat McAfee. Michael Cole had enough and got up to go ringside, but McAfee couldn't get to the ropes. Gunther dragged Pat back in and applied a few elbows to the side of his head before Michael Cole came into the ring. And Cole fought Gunther off until McAfee kicked him just as Gunther was about to powerbomb Cole. Pat got a 2-count roll-up pin on Gunther as he went to the apron to take a suplex back on the mat, and Gunther was able to kick out. He wasn't happy at all. Pat tried to get a sleeper on Gunther after that, but he just kicked his head off and locked a sleeper hold on him until the referee called for the bell after the match was over. As Baron just said, Pat McAfee got on his feet, had a stare down with Gunther. Gunther tipped his proverbial hat to McAfee before he left to show respect. So out of 10 stars, Max, what would you give this match, man?
I loved this match. I thought this match was really good, and I'm giving this one my match of the night. It's getting 10. Pat McAfee performed better than everybody thought he was going to do. He did a damn good job in this match. It looked like it was mostly one-sided for a while, but then Pat got some offense in. Cole got involved. I thought it was great. 10
I'll
out
give
of
it
10.
a 9.5 because this was a really, really good match. It's better than what I thought it was going to be. Baron, what would you give it?
Yeah, I think we all tend to forget how well Pat McAfee in all of his matches he's had, how good he actually is in the ring for a guy that's not athletic. Or I mean, he's athletic, obviously, probably more than all of us combined, but he's not a Logan Paul by any means. But he's great, man. It was a good match. Gunther kind of, he put up a fight against Gunther, which we were not expecting, right? We thought this was going to be squash. Gunther beats the hell out of him, which is good, but also not good because it kind of brings the value down for Gunther, in my opinion. I mean, this guy's a world champion. He was also one of the longest reigning Intercontinental champions of all time. Now he tends to, he's sitting on that what are we doing with him level, right? But no, nonetheless, good match. The crowd was hyped the entire time. Like I said, 10 out of 10.
I really was cheering for Gunther to win this one, J-Bone, because basically I didn't want my record to go to shit completely after the Dominik and Penta match. And so, J-Bone, what would you give this one, man?
Look, the entertainment level of this match was a lot better than I thought it was going to. And I'm gonna, like we were talking about, we got to give a lot of credit to Pat McAfee, his athleticism. He sold the beatdown like unbelievably well. But in that same aspect, because of the wrestler that Gunther is, and he's pound for pound probably one of the best wrestlers on the roster this day. This match is not going to affect him win or loss as far as it being like the exhibition it was. And I know he's a former world champion. Look, don't worry about Gunther. He's going to be fine. He's, whatever they got next for him. This was just, for lack of better words, I'll just call this a hiccup as far as whatever championship he's going to go after next or whatever feud, But as far as a rating, I'll give this. I'll give it a 9 because, and I gotta give a shout out to Michael Cole. That really, I was not expecting him to get involved, and when he did, and I almost thought he was gonna get his head popped off at one point. the Emmy goes to Michael Cole.
Yeah. It was interesting to see Michael Cole get into the ring, and
Because it's been a long time since he's been in that position to jump out from behind and really get involved in anything. Like we always hear him. He is the voice of the WWE. And I got to say, following Vince's exit, Michael Cole is 10 times better. And I'll say this till the day I die. Michael Cole is, over the last 2 years in this transition, has become, one word, guys, enjoyable. And it was interesting to see that.
yeah. Bells, we'll get to your comment here in just a minute. Let's get to the last match of the evening, and that would be John Cena versus Randy Orton, the main event for the undisputed WWE Championship. And man, the pop that Randy Orton got at the arena, Baron, was just amazing.
Yeah, St. Louis showing love, man. You're from St. Louis. The crowd's always going to show you love, whether it's wrestling, football, basketball. It doesn't matter the sport or entertainment. That's what we do, and it felt good, man. Everybody was on. I mean, we were watching that video package. Everybody was on their feet during that video package. We knew as soon as it ended what was happening, and people are still on their feet, and there it went, man. It was great, dude. It was awesome.
And I love the fact that they took their time to play the intro, to let the suspense build up, if you will.
There was Randy chants as well before his entrance ever hit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. This was a hell of a match, and I just knew that Randy Orton, even though Baron, you and I from St. Louis, we both really wanted Randy Orton to win, but there was just no way in hell they're gonna.
I mean, we knew, dude. I mean, I think we both picked Cena in our picks, anyways.
Yes,
of course we wanted to, and of course we should have rioted if Orton lost. But I mean, we all knew what was going to happen. But nonetheless, this was nostalgia type of put together match right here. I mean, 25 years of the two, right?
Yep. Yeah. I think I posted that on our Twitter account at the Ramblers Pod, that if Cena wins, we riot. Max, your thoughts on this match?
This match was great. The line of RKOs that went out to backstage producers was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was okay with R-Truth taking an RKO. I know that there was some upset about that, but it looked good. He took it very well. He always does. This match was just great. Mm-hmm. If Gunther and Pat McAfee hadn't surprised me by being far better than it looked on paper, in my opinion, this might have been my match of the night. But this was just a great match all around, and it told a great story.
For this was my match of the night, honestly. It was really, really good. J-Bone, your thoughts on this match, and we'll get to the nearing of it and rate it, and then we'll rate the PLE.
I can't say too much because I dozed off partway through it, but I did.
Fucking this guy, dude. Mute my fucking mic before I go off.
That's your best friend, man. That's your.
He is, but you know what? Sometimes he's got to knock it off and quit eating those goddamn nighttime gummies and stay in tuned.
No, it was too much pizza. It was too much pizza.
All right, fair enough.
Grandpa put down the bottle of NyQuil.
Pizza coma. No NyQuil. No, I stopped doing that a long time ago. That's not. They never said that you couldn't take it during the day. But yeah, the finish was good. I'm gonna go watch some clips. That's about all I can really say. I can't rate it. So
yeah. Okay. All right. That I guess
slept through the whole fucking match, too. Whatever.
Fair enough. That's going to hinder your rating on the PLE, though. Honestly, for sleeping through half of the main event. But let's get into the nearing of the match. Randy Orton went out to the ring, got a table from underneath it, and the fans were very happy to see this. Orton put Cena through that table with an AA of his own and broke it. Orton took a drink of the Prime that was at the card at ringside after that. Still, there was no referee to make any kind of pinfall, but that didn't stop Orton from hitting another RKO in the middle of the ring and make a pin. It's just as another referee ran down to make a 2 count. John Cena still had the title in his hand. He ran over to Orton, but Orton ducked as the 17-time champion nailed the referee, the second referee. Orton nailed another RKO and pinned Cena as Nick Aldis ran down to check out the second referee. And Orton nailed Aldis and every other WWE official with him with RKOs. And there was literally RKO party as their bodies just laid all over the ring thanks to Randy. But that didn't help Orton win as he geared up to nail Cena with a punt to the head. R-Truth out of nowhere comes in to stop Orton, and he ate an RKO too. Cena hit a low blow onto Orton after that, and then he grabbed the title. Once again, geared up to nail him, which he did. And then Cena pinned Orton as the first referee crawled in from the ring from the pinfall. John Cena retained in St. Louis, and nobody was happy about it. Still, the main event of Backlash was absolute chaos. After the match was over, though, and this did air on TV, Cena told him to cut off the music. He said he doesn't need music. He needs competition. And he sure doesn't need the fans. He told St. Louis to drink it in because this is what the real last champ looks like. And this is how Backlash ended in the loo as fans booed the end results of the main event, which we knew would happen. We knew that John Cena would retain. But Baron, your thoughts, your rating of this match out of 10 stars.
Great, man. 10 out of 10. I read a tweet from an account right before going to this event, just dogging John Cena and what they're doing with them, saying there's no substance or anything along those lines with what WWE's doing with them. And I just got to say, you're a fucking idiot, because what he's currently doing with this heel run is fantastic. After 20 fucking years of getting booed and bashed by the fans, that for a company he literally carried on his back. I mean, nobody's ever going to disregard that. He carried that company for many moons. So
I don't know if I think he was booed how he was pushed.
Well, he was pushed down our throats, absolutely.
Yeah,
but they had to. Who else was it going to be? There was nobody else on that roster that was even remotely close to him during that period of time. So all those critics out there can piss off with what they're doing with John Cena, because I think it's great. He's coming across as a piece of shit, as he should be, and he's pointing back to those fans that shit on him for many years. So I think it's great, and the way he comes out with the Black Titantron, just with his name, it's perfect, man. So,
that's
hey, I love it. I absolutely love it. And telling him to cut his music, he don't need it. Yeah, great, man.
Max, your thoughts? Out of 10.
The match itself was amazing. I loved it. I love watching these two work each other. 25 years they've been putting on amazing matches with each other in the ring, and I'm sorry that this will be the last one. I gave this match a 10. And it like I said, it would have been my match of the night if it hadn't been for how surprisingly good Gunther and Pat were.
Yeah, I would give this match a 10 too, and that's hard for me to give a 10.
Is Cena's title run a yawn compared to Cody Rhodes? Because let me tell you, Cody Rhodes' title run was that's debatable. I will debate that till the day I stop talking about wrestling. So catch me on the side, and I will tell you why his run was absolutely pointless.
And J-Bone, I know you fell asleep during most of the main event, but I'm going to give you 5 stars. Out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
Well, I'll say this, because I watched what Cena did during the media scrum, and I feel like that really
good. Yeah, that was good.
that spoke volumes.
Cena put our truth through a table at the press conference, which was awesome.
So I have a feeling we're gonna get a slow burn out of this. I'm hoping it's a slow burn and we don't get something like snap immediately out of this, because I feel like our truth can. I'm not saying all of a sudden he's gonna turn like Stone Cold Steve Austin badass. But he can do something, and he might be the one to take down Cena.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Ooh, that's a
little.
I mean, no, but he's not wrong though. After the show, our truth is showing up around Cena, and you know, at the end of the match, even right. So it's just weird.
Max. You want us to book the Baron versus Terrence in a debate, Cena's title reign versus Cody's title reign.
100%. A Ramblers Unleashed special event. The Baron and Terrence debate who has the better title reign. Guys, imagine how much fun it'll be for the rest of us.
Oh, that would be. You know what? We might have to book that.
Terrence, if you decide to do it, brother, I'll buy you Culver's.
Whoa!
Oh, wow!
Debater.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's so mad right now. He's ready to.
He's fuming. He's fucking fuming.
Look
He
at him.
pulled out that fucking 2022
Hold on.
fucking Christmas wrapping paper.
Terrence is our viewer. He's our fan. He's not a fellow Rambler. He's our fan. I think we need to give him just a little bit of leeway.
No, I'm gonna put it on record. Anybody in the chat, any of the fans out there that want to have any type of debate on any show with me, I'm all for it. Anytime, anywhere, any place.
I think.
Look, I'll
Debate
say
me,
this.
baby.
This goes back many years, but I actually had Terrence on with me, and I forget what it was. It was some review or live reaction to something, and let's just say Terrence Sullivan was very entertaining.
You know what? J-Bone, you book Terrence to come on this show, and we will have him and Baron debate it off in a debate 2025.
Oh, Terrence, we weren't talking tonight. We're not talking
anytime,
tonight.
anybody. Courtney, do you want to hop on here and debate me? Hop on. Mir, you want to hop on and debate me?
No.
brother.
We're not doing this tonight. It's just
No.
I'm talking about setting it up as a special event down the road where we would advertise for it, and you two can just make us believe your side.
Bells boy, you want to hop on here and debate me in the near future? Sign up.
And I will be.
All love though. All love, guys.
The three of us, Grandpa and Max.
That's right. Yeah, we live reacted the Good Brothers Talking Shop Mania 2 and how ridiculous it was.
So
and Terrence Sullivan, like every other thing that happened, he was like, "What the hell?"
the three of us, myself, Grandpa, and Max, we will be moderators for that. All right, so you will have we'll come up with some rules. We'll make it like normal political debate, right? We'll make it. We'll give you the same rules as a political debate, but and we'll come up with our own questions.
Oh God!
But yes, this is going to happen. This is gonna happen.
That's my forte, folks.
This will be a lot of fun.
That would be so much fun. I will go on the master debating tour of 2025.
He is a masturbator. Let me tell you.
Master debater.
Debater, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, be careful how you say that.
We need to address something that Bell's Boy wanted us to bring up before we rate the PLE. Well, let's go ahead and just rate the PLE because that's what Bell's Boy wants us to talk about, Max. It's completely separate from WWE.
Nope,
So let's
I
go
got you.
ahead. Let's go ahead and rate the PLE from out of 10 stars. What would you give the whole PLE?
Listen, overall, this was a great show. I'm giving it a 9.75. I didn't feel any disappointment with any of the matches overall. I mean, there was a couple of little things, as I pointed out, but I loved this card.
Okay, yeah, I would give it 9.75 too. It's a pretty strong rating. Baron, what would you give it?
I was there, folks. I have to get it a 10 out of 10. Sorry. It was a great show. Absolutely loved it.
The beer and weed helped Baron's decision on that.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know what? I have to mention this. And I was actually really good about going to the show and not smoking in the venue.
Oh yeah,
I smoked right, going into the venue, clearly right to the door. But as soon as you walk into that venue, it smelled like fucking straight dank. And I was like, God damn it, of course I didn't bring nothing. But man, yeah, great time. 10 out of 10. I highly recommend anybody that has not been to a wrestling show in the last few years go, because it's very enjoyable.
Baron, we'll have to go if they when they come back, we'll have to go.
Yep,
for sure. Boner, what would you give it, man, out of 10 stars?
I'll give it 8.5.
8.5, really? Oh, because you missed half of the.
Just because it was one of those things where you look at the card on paper and it's like, wait, what are we doing? And it was like so few matches. It took. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was me. Yeah,
clouds.
Yeah, yelling at clouds and at the TV, and my wife's just shaking her head at me. No, look, it ended up being a lot more entertaining than I thought it was, but it had to really work to get to that point. So, but yeah, nothing wrong with that. I can't give it a 10 out of 10, but we saw some, we saw the debut of Jeff Cobb, which was great. And it was kind of predictable, so that knocks it down a couple pegs, but still a lot of fun. So,
yeah. So with that being said, Max, we have to address the elephant in the room. And Bell's Boy said, "Can I ask a question that changes the subject briefly? How do I feel about the wrestler that won't be named losing her title last night?" I didn't even know she lost her title.
Oh yeah, she lost her New Japan Women's title. Yeah.
Well, it's about fucking time she lost something.
Yeah.
Honestly,
she lost it in a triple threat match.
Yeah.
And still retains the ability to brag that she has not been pinned nor made to submit in the last 2 years. So while I'm happy it happened, I'm not happy with the how, because I don't want to listen to her brag about how she hasn't been pinned or made to submit in the last 2 years. And this belt should still be hers for that reason. But yeah, I'm glad she's down one.
Yeah, I personally,
I didn't know we were running a Baron's Buzzkill moment of the night tonight. Boy, way to kill the fucking buzz, Bell's Boy. No. All love.
I am glad that she's down a title. She doesn't need 4 or however many she had, because I don't really pay that much attention to her. As a matter of fact, when she comes on my TV, if I'm watching AEW, I just mute her or block her out. I can't stand her. I'm honestly glad that she's gone from WWE. She has no place in professional wrestling, to be really, really honest with you. So yeah, I'm happy that she's down a title, but I think I'm gonna try to find info on that for Tuesday's Ramblers Unleashed. We'll try to bring that up if I can find anything on it, or if anything else happens as far as the AEW news. We'll get that. But yeah, I'm sure, Baron, you'll get your buzzkill from AEW. Guarantee it, because every time there's something on there that will. And I know, Max, you just shared that story, so we'll save it for Tuesday.
Kinda. I shared that story. This is something that happened after the loss.
Okay. So should we save that? I think we should save that.
We'll save that.
We'll save it for Tuesday. I dropped it for us to have for Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I think you should share what I posted in the main chat, though.
What did you post in the main?
It's a picture that I got sent from Styles.
Oh, let me.
It's a picture of one of us.
Oh, didn't I already share that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
I didn't remember seeing it.
Yeah,
I must have been tabbed out.
I already shared it earlier.
That's a great picture, though. We should remove J-Bone's screen and just keep that up there at all times for J-Bone's screen. But make sure you put him like above me on this. That way he's like, pointing it towards you and Max.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
You fuckers.
Well, that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Ramblers Unleashed, giving you our thoughts on Backlash. It was a good PLE, man. Really, really good PLE. So we will be back here on Tuesday, normal time, right after NXT, around 9:15, to give you the latest AEW, TNA, and Backlash Fallout information that we can, the news that comes out from WWE on Tuesday night at around 9:15 Central Standard Time on youtube.com/Ramblers Unleashed, which, by the way, if you like what we're doing, please consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the thumbs up that tells YouTube that you like what we're doing and recommends our video to more folks. So, Baron, how can they follow you, sir?
You can find me on the old Twitter box, Scumbag Jordan with three N's.
3 N's. There you go. That's 1, 2, 3.
Grandpa down there with the delayed reaction.
Yeah.
He's got 4 up. Come on, wrap it up, fellas. Wrap it up.
Grandpa, how can they follow you? Grandpa, quit playing with your fingers.
You can find me over on that other little podcast called Total Nonstop Impact every Thursday nights, where we're talking all things TNA. And you can also find me on the old Twitter box at JBone50150.
5150. Max.
Listen, before I tell you guys where to find me, you called him Boner a few minutes ago, and all I could think of was the kid from Growing Pains that was Mike's best friend. Anyway, you can find me for the wrestling stuff at Max Magus, which it doesn't have my Twitter stuff tonight for a reason. You can find my other podcast, the Random Shots, at Our Shots Podcast. Check out our website, random-shots.net, or listen to the podcast anywhere you get your podcast. If you have any complaints, please feel free to send them to at Deactivated Styles, as it says right here.
Yeah, all complaints need to be sent to at Deactivated Styles, not to at the Ramblers Pod or on our Facebook page, Ramblers Unleashed. You can please hit the subscribe button, as brother BKL just said. Like, subscribe, share to your family, friends, and relatives. It really helps us grow this channel. It really helps us grow our viewerships, and it helps us grow as well as podcasters too, honestly. But anything that we get, any little thing that we get, man, it really helps us, which, by the way, we're up to 234 subscribers. Golfers clap for that. I love that. So until Tuesday nights, we will be right back here to give you the latest news on professional wrestling, and enjoy professional wrestling for what it is. Enjoy Monday Night Raw and the fallout for Backlash. And then after NXT, we'll be back on Tuesday night to talk all about it. So until then, see ya and have a good night. Have a good rest of the week, and happy Mother's Day.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.
That is the wrong graphic.
What was this?
Wow.
That is the wrong graphic. I did not mean to click that. Bye, everybody. It's not TNI.